Hello, I'm Chris Williams from Read Comics They're Bad For You, the name of my YouTube channel. Or, if you're watching this on BitChute, the name of my BitChute channel is Comic Freak. Today we're going to be reading an article, Why Anakin Should Return for Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. And in my humble opinion, I say no. He should not be brought back, and the same thing for Palpatine, just so Disney can drag both of their moldy carcasses through the mud, because that's what's going to happen because they've destroyed his legacy by bringing back Palpatine. But let's read this article. The best way for J.J. Abrams to tie 3 trilogies together would be to go back to the character that started it all. Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker's final trailer has been revealed, and it looks to close the 3-film 40-year Skywalker saga, given the title The Skywalker Bloodline will have a crucial role to play. At the moment, the only confirmed characters with Skywalker blood remaining are Kylo Ren, Adam Driver, and Carrie Fisher's Leia. The other 2 Skywalkers, Luke and Anakin, have already led their own respective trilogies, and there is no doubt J.J. Abrams will be honoring their legacies as well. Luke Skywalker's Mark Hamill voice is heard throughout both Rise of Skywalker trailers, and it looks to be a guiding Force ghost for Rey, Daisy Ridley, after her sacrifice in Star Wars The Last Jedi. This leaves the role of the Anakin Skywalker still unclear. The character has had important roles in both the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy. His mask still serves as a symbol for grandson Kylo Ren as the first Skywalker and original chosen one. What role does Abrams envision for him? How about no rule? Please, J.J. Abrams and Disney, don't do this and don't ruin Star Wars any more than you already have. Anakin's role in Star Wars is likely the most important across all sagas when put into proper context. In the Age of Rebellion, fans were introduced to Anakin through Darth Vader. The latter, arguably the most iconic cinematic villain of all time, is synonymous with Star Wars from his unique design, operatic story arc, and James Earl Jones' unmistakable voice. Vader is rooted in the minds of fans and general audiences alike as the quintessential Star Wars character. The character was redeemed in Star Wars Return of the Jedi by his son Luke Skywalker and appeared as a Force ghost alongside to cap off the original trilogy. 16 years later, George Lucas returned to Star Wars with Star Wars The Phantom Menace. While the trilogy was divisive among longtime fans, there is an entire generation that grew up with this set of films as their first interaction with Star Wars. For many, Anakin Skywalker is Hayden Christensen's portrayal before he is Darth Vader. It is this generation of fans who are now in their 20s, eagerly hoping that Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker will give respect to their era of Star Wars as much as it does the original trilogy. That's why I'm sure the Hayden Christensen fans of Star Wars will hate what you're going to do with him in this movie, J.J. Abrams. Plot-wise, there are many ways to have Anakin Skywalker's presence felt in The Rise of Skywalker. The first is to affirm his place as the Chosen One, the one who can bring balance to the Force. For a while, Anakin was well on his way to fulfilling it. His time training with Obi-Wan Kenobi, Ewan McGregor, and becoming one of the leading generals during the Clone Wars series has proved his valor. He was manipulated and turned to the dark side by Palpatine, Ian McDiarmid, mostly due to the fear of losing Padme, Natalie Portman. After defeating him on Mustafar, Kenobi cried for his fallen brother. Yet Anakin's story did not end there, and his destiny as the Chosen One was not truly lost. Anakin Skywalker ended up fulfilling his destiny when he killed the Emperor and redeemed himself in the eyes of his son. This makes Emperor Palpatine's role in The Rise of Skywalker that much more interesting. His rebirth in the sequel trilogy should not take away from Anakin's actions in The Return of the Jedi, so there must be more left to his story, and that Abrams wants to tie together. While The Age of Resistance is essentially the story of Rey and Kylo Ren, Abrams has stated on numerous occasions that Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker will be giving respect to all 3 eras of Star Wars. This is evident by Palpatine's return as the primary villain of the film, reaffirming his place as the one true evil across all 3 sagas, while Anakin and Luke Skywalker should both have a role in the defeat of Palpatine. Again, it will likely be Rey or Kylo who win the day. So Palpatine is the one true evil across all 3 sagas. Is that true, or is it because Roundhead Ryan Johnson killed off, that Snoke guy in The Last Jedi just so he could basically turn into a bit of an art house film and defy expectations. If you are thinking that and not the fact that he basically torpedoed your main villain in your new trilogy and you just pulled Palpatine out of your, behind just to fill the void that Roundhead Rian Johnson made, then you're out of your mind. Getting back to the article, so how can Anakin Skywalker return in The Rise of Skywalker without overshadowing the other characters? One idea is for a fan-servicey Avengers Endgame style showdown. Rey has been trained by Luke Skywalker. No, she was not, and his Force Ghost is likely going to be assisting Rey in some fashion. Kylo Ren takes great influence from his grandfather, just the wrong side of him. The concept of both original Skywalkers appearing as Force Ghosts in the final battle against Palpatine could leave most fans satisfied. I don't really think so. Still, Star Wars is known to be a bit subtler than Marvel, and there might be more subdued ways to make Anakin Skywalker work. How are they going to make him work? He died in Return of the Jedi. He had a great send-off, and bringing him back just ruins the death of Emperor Palpatine, because now that they're both back, Rey is probably going to kill the Emperor, and that completely neuters Anakin. Now, let's get back to this article, because I'm getting angry here. Concept images for Star Wars The Force Awakens suggest Anakin Skywalker was going to have a brief appearance as a distorted Force ghost. It wasn't clear what role the ghost would have had before the idea was scrapped, but it did feature a Hayden Christensen as an Anakin Vader hybrid Force ghost, likely to influence Kylo Ren in some way. Exploring this concept further could lead to a moment where Anakin speaks to Kylo Ren, explaining the errors of his own past and the path to redemption, that it is still possible. Or Anakin could say to Kylo Ren, run away, run as far as possible to get away from this movie, because if you stay, you'll remain as J.J. Abrams' soy boy puppet. Enough jabs at JJ, let's get back to this article. In the canonical Star Wars comics, it was revealed that Emperor Palpatine was responsible for the birth of Anakin Skywalker, and in turn the birth of the Skywalker line. Palpatine has groomed Anakin from childhood to become his key to ruling the galaxy. When he eventually wins, he turns his sights on Anakin's son, Luke, to be his next apprentice. To further extend his rule, Luke Skywalker managed to defy the dark side, turn his father back to the light, and allow Anakin to deliver the final blow and defeat the Emperor. He then set his sights on the third generation of Skywalker, Ben Solo, and turned him into Kylo Ren through Snoke. Point being, the Skywalker struggle began with Anakin and Palpatine, and you can't have one without the other. Yes, you can. You could have not had Emperor Palpatine and Anakin back, but you had Rian Johnson kill off Snoke, so you have to resort to using these guys. But that's not going to work. You could have done anything else, but you did the one thing that would probably make you be hated forever in the eyes of the Star Wars fandom. For viewers who grew up with the prequels, whose first connection to Anakin Skywalker was as a Jedi, not as Vader, having Hayden Christensen return in The Rise of Skywalker would be just as poignant as when original trilogy fans saw Mark Hamill's old Luke Skywalker in the final shots of The Force Awakens. To be true final of the Skywalker saga, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker needs Anakin Skywalker to have some role in the film. Whether that role is a full appearance or just as a symbolic one, it is safe to say that Abrams has something in mind to leave the legacy of Star Wars in a good place. Would that good place be the garbage dump? Because everything you've said has just made me realize that J.J. Abrams has no idea how to finish this trilogy. He's just going back to old ideas and old characters that were laid to rest, and now he has no idea how to finish this film. Especially if you've heard that J.J. Abrams has reshot over 75% of The Rise of Skywalker in the last few months. He's not in a good place, and this movie is most assuredly going to be in a very bad place. Once it fails, it'll be going straight into the dumpster. Now, if you like this video, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed because YouTube is going around unsubscribing people, so make sure you're still subscribed. If you're watching my videos but you have not subscribed, please subscribe to me. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, Read Comics They're Bad For You. Then go over to BitChute and subscribe to my BitChute channel, Comic Freak. Hit that bell for notifications, hit that like button, and leave some comments down below. And could you please share this video, share it on Twitter, and share it on Facebook, share it anywhere you think it would do the most good, because YouTube is not going around promoting their YouTube creators anymore, and it would really help me if you could please share this video. Now, keep checking back in future videos for more information on my own upcoming independent comic book, Scumdogs. I'm Chris Williams, and I'll be back again tomorrow with another video or review.